Okay, so now we have.
Well, this was against Ivanchuk. Ivanchuk, everybody knows he was winning many games, even against Carlsen. Right
Recently.
now, the last
Yes.
years, he's a little bit older, but he is able to beat everyone. So in that time, he won a lot of beautiful games against Kasparov and all the other, well-known grandmasters from the Soviet Union and from the whole world. And this was a rapid game. Some mistakes maybe, but very, very nice, final blow at the end. We'll see. Tactical, very tactical. Well, f4 is very sharp line against the Najdorf. And after e5 is main line, here. It's considered the best for black, to defend like this. You see. The problem now is that black has to accept the fact that he can't move normally with the bishop in g7. The line, if black has time, is to put the bishop in g7. Here he's forced to put the bishop in e7, So, okay, here knight d7, a4, against the threat b5. If black has time to play b5, bishop b7, it's more or less okay, Nothing happens. So bishop e7, bishop d3, castle, castle. And here knight c5. Okay, knight c5. Up to now, everything theory, So what to do? King h1, took in f4, took in f4. And here, bishop g4, queen e1, and rook e8. And after rook e8, rook d1. And here black had to decide. Ivanchuk played in this position queen a5, which is a little bit too optimistic. It seems that the best move is queen b6. After queen b6, white maybe is a little bit better. It's very complicated and had to decide what to do. Gives the pawn from b2 for initiative or not. If you don't give the pawn, it's another game. If you give the pawn, you have to show your opponent why is a good, possibility. You give the pawn for initiative, but if it's not enough, then you are worse, So after queen a5 is very risky because we'll see what happens in the game. It's more or less forced, and in a rapid game, everything can happen very quickly, the way it happened, of course. No? So here, queen g3, and rook d8. Okay, and after rook d8, very strong move, bishop d2, very unpleasant here, because white is threatening already very quickly, knight d5.
Yeah.
If white has time to play knight d5 and takes in e7, then the position is very bad for black already, because there are too many weaknesses afterwards, you see. So now black has to move the queen. And after queen b6, the big difference is here that white can play immediately a5 with tempo. Why it's so good? Because after a5, you have to move again the queen. You can't take the pawn from b2. If you take the pawn from b2, you are lost. You see, after a5. a5. Now, let's say if he takes there, after rook b1 is forced win. Queen a3, the only move, and now rook a1, yeah, and you are losing the queen.
So it's like
this, or even after queen b4. No, after queen b4, rook there, or even knight d5. I told you, if white arrives to d5, is finished, But here you lose the queen. This is even worse, So, okay, he can't take the pawn. But if he can't take the pawn, he has to move the queen again. And it seems the best move was, of course, queen c7. Ivanchuk chose another plan, which is very risky, played queen a7. And after queen a7, everything is more or less forced, you'll see. All right, so bishop e3. Now again, you have to move the queen because, the threat is b4.
Oh, okay.
Pinned,
Yeah.
So, okay, queen b8. Okay, he lost the tempo, and now white moves. And by having the right to move, wins a very important tempo, and is more or less forced from here, you see, the continuation. Very beautiful, finally. Even, I told you, even some small mistakes maybe, but very effective, very nice until the end, you see. So, okay, have to take. and now e5. Okay, so black has to take in f3, otherwise loses a piece, So it takes, and now knight h5. Now what to do? It seems that move by move again, So attacks the knight and g6. It seems more or less all right,
Yes.
And now look what happens here. So g4, it seems very risky because by playing g4, you open completely the game.
Yeah.
If the attack is not coming very quickly in a few moves, white,
Is lost.
weaken the position for himself, for herself, Judit.
Yeah.
So now, if black has time to put a piece in e6 in good condition, black has a very nice game, Or win a tempo somehow with bishop g5 and so on, okay, for black. But it's move by move, I tell you, and therefore it's very dangerous for black. So knight e6, the losing move by force, you see.
Yeah.
And here, look what happens. Everything is tempo, knight e4. Now you have to take the pawn in e5 because white is threatening already knight f6 check, in some variation, and rook takes f7. And, the continuation is stable. So now queen takes e5. And look, the rest, takes. You have to take, of course. No?
Yeah.
Threatens, no, knight g5. What did he play? Knight g5, yes. And knight g5, now the big surprise. He gives the rook with check, So you have to take, of course. If you take in g5, he's mating h7 immediately, Queen takes h7 mate.
Yes.
So, okay, took the rook, and now simply bishop f1. No checks at all for black, and white is threatening mate in 1.
Yeah.
Yes. So, okay, the only move, h5, no?
Yeah.
And here, fantastic move again, but she saw it already when she prepared, And now queen b3, and black is lost here. First.
Wow.
No checks at all, threatens mate in 1. Well, in 1, immediately, very quickly. So they continue like this, c4, queen takes, and he played until the end and gives the possibility to give some very nice, final blow, you see. So and now look, rook f8 check. Now if you take with the king, mate in f7, queen f7 mate.
Yeah.
So the only move is king g7. King g7, queen g8 check, and black resigned.
Resigned, yes.
Because after king h6, knight f7 mate. Look, so very simple, but very beautiful,
Yeah.
Yeah. And everything first. That's a fantastic.
Yeah, very nice.
Beautiful game, very nice. Yeah. Good player for white. Look at this. Fantastic. Huh? Very effective.
True. Thank you, Mr. Gugio.
Yeah.